Well, Amanda, you're here for the L'Oreal Melbourne Fashion Festival. So I wanted to touch on one of your most seminal projects, of course, Selfridges in Birmingham. The project has been credited with really providing an amazing rejuvenation of Birmingham. Mm-hmm. So do you feel that when architecture is given a chance and when it's really powerful, it can provide strong social change?
Oh, I mean, without question. Selfridges was very well positioned in a sense to do that, because our site was on the edge of a former industrial district which was in serious need of regeneration. And so it signalled, it kind of set the bar for new developments. But more than that, Birmingham is a city that is not noted for its modern architecture. And even the historical architecture is few and far between there. So it was a city that has a huge population and that used to be a big, manufacturer and producer, that was in serious need of redefining itself. And the opportunity for us was that this building could be more than just a department store, that it could reach a much wider audience, and that it had the ability to communicate beyond just being a building. And so in a sense, for me it posed the question, what's the nature of a public building? Because so many people visit department stores and shopping malls, it's become the new meeting place, and therefore our responsibility was to make sure that this building went way beyond its brief as a shop.
One of the qualities about future systems previously was this kind of notion of universality, but in actual fact it seems that site context and local culture is very important as part of your process.
Yeah.
Is that something that is developed? Was there a universality, do you think, in the beginning that's developed, or was it always there, this connection?
I don't think there was a conscious universality in our work as future systems, but it was, there was an idiom, there was a language there, and what I'm very keen to do now is to push that language and open it up a bit, and invite and encourage other strands of thought to inform where we're going. And so Bangkok is just a very good example, because we're able to use, and I very much wanted the building in Bangkok, which will be the first modern building in Bangkok of any significance, and therefore has the potential to have the same kind of impact, if not greater, than Selfridges did in Birmingham, to really research the traditional culture and the craftsmanship and the expertise that exists in that country, in that city, and to try and bring it to bear on a building of a huge scale. And that's, for me, it's a very interesting, kind of diametrically opposed, the idea of craftsmanship and volume producing, to get those two working side by side.
I'd seen your talk the other day at Design Victoria, and you talked very much about motif and working with motif. I imagine that when you're researching those cultures, that motif can be a wonderful element to work with in terms of pattern making and materiality. And
yeah, I mean, again, for this building in Bangkok to sit and be very much part of to create some kind of cultural continuity, we wanted to exploit the very typical social and economic condition that is in Bangkok, which is that the labour is cheap and technology is expensive. And so we had this idea of cladding the building not with a typical cladding system that you could get anywhere in Europe or the US, but to develop something that came out of their culture but reinterpret it in a very, that speaks in a way of modernity. And so we've developed this tile, three-dimensional tile, that will be glazed different colours on each side, and looked at traditional Thai craftsmanship in villages all around Thailand, and how we could use that kind of expertise but marry it up with a kind of digital technology. And so we're cladding the building with 400,000 tiles, which again you couldn't do in Europe or the US because the labour costs would be completely prohibitive, but here the reverse is the case. And so it's very nice to be able to to express the building both aesthetically but also in the way that it's conceived and fabricated speaks of where it comes from.